what are you looking for when are you looking at Turkey as a market? You're obviously looking for Turks who are looking to break into new markets.
No, we're looking Turkey as a market because it has a big domestic market, and that's what we look for. But I was thinking have a more global strategy, thinking of even going into the MENA, but also going into Europe. I mean, it can definitely be done. So I would like to see more business plans and more ideas and more founders focusing on we're going to grow these companies really big, not just building a local champion, but actually a European or world champion.
I think there's about this whether Turkey is a market or a center of innovation. I think we've seen some companies coming here, and their idea was to invest in Turkish companies, to bring Turkish entrepreneurs to the world, bring them to Europe, and bring them to the rest of the region. But some of them we've seen that they changed their business plan after a few years and decided, okay, we still believe in Turkey as a market, but what we want to do is take companies from Europe and bring them to Istanbul and tap that market. Is that a debate that you guys have internally as well?
I think that we have different models. We can invest in different kinds of companies. When we invested in Anne Lutfen a year and a half ago, the idea was not at all to invest in the Turkish market specifically. It's just that we saw many companies with the same model. One was in Russia, one was in France, one was in the UK, and we just liked this model, and we were looking for great entrepreneurs executing very well this model that we liked. And we fell in love with Roy, who is doing a very good job. And we just thought that it was the best company in Europe, in our target, executing this model. So we investing in her, in this team, because we thought that they could execute very well the model. But then, of course, there are other models where we look for being global from the beginning. But I mean, we can invest in different companies with different strategy. But I would not say that a Turkish company has to be global for one of my investments. I also think that it's important to grow step by step. First, you have to prove your model in your own market, and then see if you execute well enough to reach other markets.
Yeah, I totally agree. But it was more in the spirit, saying we should start in Turkey, but then we should have a bigger vision, actually. But of course, you start with Turkey. There's enough to do already here. So
yeah, it's a big market.
It's more on the longer run, and it's more about the spirit itself of being an entrepreneur and willing to do something big, not just medium.
I agree, but the entrepreneurs that I met, they all did their studies in the UK or in the US, so they already know the other market. It's not as if they were self-centric on the Turkish market. Yeah. They all know the other, either the European or the US markets, so they know that, we know as investors that at one point, if they are doing already well in Turkey, we could bring them to other countries.